After all the hype and build-up, and in spite of the many obstacles put in our way, our event at SLU happened last night, or SLU, which is apparently what the students call it, and they didn't tell me that until the Q&A, and I was calling it SLU the entire time. But I'm just going to stick with SLU anyway. Enormous crowds. We had a room with a capacity of 200 people, I think, and we fit 450 people into it, plus an overflow room. So it was great. And then, of course, there was the mob of protesters outside blocking traffic. I did decide to go outside and confront the protesters personally. Not confront. I wanted to talk to them, have a conversation, and also give them a chance to answer the "what is a woman" question, because that was my challenge. I did say that before I came on campus. I said, if anyone can come to my talk and define, if any leftist can come and define the word woman and do it successfully, I will admit defeat and I will never speak on another college campus ever again. And none of them actually showed up to the talk to meet my challenge. So I went out to them and is it necessarily a smart or safe thing to go walk out into the middle of the street and talk to the angry mob of insane people who've come to protest you? Probably not. But I don't often choose the smart path, so no reason to start now, I figure. But rather than me recapping it, I'll play this report from CBS, which is actually surprisingly fair. They were there, and they captured some of this, including me and my I suppose, conversation with protesters. Let's watch that.
A conservative speaker's views sparking protests tonight. St. Louis University students invited Matt Walsh to speak. He's a commentator for the conservative media outlet The Daily Wire. News 4's Caroline Hecker was there as the clash of opinions hit the streets of Midtown.
Trans lives matter!
A clash of views outside the Coronado near SLU's campus Wednesday night, ahead of the arrival of conservative speaker Matt Walsh. But the controversy began weeks ago. Walsh was originally scheduled to speak at a building on campus, but says the university's COVID measures were too strict. St. Francis Xavier Church, also on campus, then volunteered to play host. But the president of SLU's College Republicans says at the last minute, the priest changed his mind.
We're very disappointed to see that the church would rescind the invitation, especially on such short notice.
Father Dan White released this statement, claiming comments made by Walsh, quote, run contrary to the values of Catholic faith, resulting in the event being canceled.
But that's just not true. Matt is a devout Catholic. His views are in very good alignment with the church.
Students then secured an off-campus location, drawing long lines Wednesday night. Before the speech, Walsh came outside to speak with the protesters, who accuse him of being racist and transphobic. Those inside say while they don't expect everyone to agree, civil discourse is important.
I don't think Matt Walsh is some kind of extremist or anything like that. I think he's pretty normal and mainstream in the conservative media. So I think it's very, very important for colleges to accept that. Even if they may not agree, I still think that the First Amendment's pretty important, and it's very important for students to be able to, hear from a different perspective.
We spoke with dozens of SLU students before the event started who were waiting in line. None of them wanted to talk to us on camera, telling me they were fearful that giving their opinions could make them a target on campus.
Well, what does that tell you? Probably the most revealing thing in the whole thing. They were there, but they don't want to be on camera talking about it because of it. And can you blame them, given where they're going to school? The kind of treatment I got, and the great thing for me is that I can show up and cause a lot of trouble and then leave. But they have to stay there on campus. So I give a lot of credit to students who made this, no matter what, they were going to make this event happen. And so a lot of credit to them for doing that. Well, unfortunately, I don't have the knives with me, the Kamikoto knives. Normally, when we do this ad, I like to flail the knives around and show them off, but I couldn't get them through airport security. We're in a hotel right now. But Kamikoto knives. Kamikoto taps into more than 800 years of traditional techniques from Honshu, Japan. Each Kamikoto knife goes through a rigorous 19-step process that takes several years from start to finish to complete. Because of their single bevel edge, Kamikoto knives can achieve an unbelievably sharp edge that you just can't get with other knives. They can cut through your ribeye like butter. These are beautiful knives. They're very sharp. They're very, they are very effective. And they're, as I said, they're beautiful looking as well. Kamikoto knives are used by several chefs working at Michelin star restaurants. And once you buy these things for yourself, you can tell why the best chefs in the world like to use them. So click the link below or go to camikoto.com/Matt Walsh and use promo code Matt Walsh to save an extra $50 today. Why did I go out there to talk to them? Well, for one thing, it's only polite to go and say hi to people that have come out, because of you. And for another, these people are cowards. And we are far too often intimidated by cowards because they're in large groups. Individually, they won't even show up. None of those people, not one single person from that crowd went inside, certainly to hear the talk or to, they had a chance. In the Q&A, you can take the microphone, and if you think that you can embarrass me by exposing my ideas as being bigoted and all that kind of stuff, why not take that? Why not take that opportunity? If I'm really just a raging bigot, a stupid raging bigot, well, then that should be very easy to uncover in a conversation where you have a microphone. But they're not going to do that because then it's one-on-one, and they don't want to be in that kind of position. They always want to operate in groups, and when they all come together, when you put a bunch of cowards together in a group, people become intimidated, and we cannot be intimidated. So yeah, I'll just go right out there and talk to them. What are they going to do? I was walking up. I don't know if it was caught. We have footage ourselves that we took, and I put it up up on Twitter. I'll put it up on Instagram also. And I think it captures this moment where I'm walking up to the crowd, and one of the guys comes forward and says, screams, "Do not come over here!" And then so I came over there, and he just backed away. So pretty great. And as I was standing there, also it was fun to watch because the crowd was originally in the street blocking traffic. But as I was standing there, they all started backing away. And then very, very soon we're off of the street. So it's just me and like 200 people. And they're afraid. Is that because I'm a big bad wolf? I'm big and scary? No. It's just because they're absolute cowards. And they're not ready to be challenged and not expecting it. And don't know what to do when they are. And they have a fragile, this worldview that they've constructed and that they have subscribed to is very, very fragile. And it cannot withstand any inspection, any cross-examination. So that was good. Although I will say one other note about this is that the talk almost didn't happen at all, not for the reasons that you've heard about, but I will admit that we were flying out of D.C. to go to St. Louis, and somehow we ended up going to the wrong airport. And so we almost missed the flight. I was at the wrong airport. We went to Dulles. We were supposed to be at Reagan. And we had like 45 minutes to get over to the airport, get through security, and I almost missed the flight. I'm just thinking, my God, after all of this, if the talk is shut down because I had to cancel it because I went to the wrong airport and missed my flight, that would be the one way for me to pull an L out of this whole situation. But thankfully, that didn't happen. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with all your friends.